A girl gets dragged under her bed, and later her mom finds a doll under there. It seems to breathe. A vintage doll in a bar keeps setting off motion. First a stool falls over, and then the doll itself shifts on camera. And a man opens a cabinet full of dolls after hearing it rattle, and one of them starts moving on its own, right after a creepy whisper says evil. These are haunted dolls caught on camera. This unsettling set of videos comes from a woman named Haley Moore. She has a collection of rather realistic looking dolls. Well, one night her daughter was playing in her room and the security camera caught this. So the lullaby the girl was just singing to herself starts playing out loud from somewhere. The girl gets out of bed to see what's going on. She looks under there and then this happens. Something starts to drag her underneath. Luckily, mom hears the screaming and comes in to get her. She posted the clip to TikTok and people had a lot of questions. A lot of them wanted Haley to film under the bed, so she posted this next video. So one of her dolls is laying under the bed. Not only was she not expecting it to be under there, but the thing moves, almost like it's letting out a breath. She later explained that the doll has no mechanical components, it's just a stuffed doll with plastic. TikToker My Name is Ricky Bobby's been having an issue with a creepy vintage doll. This video was shared back in June. He wrote in the description, "This was recorded on my bar's surveillance camera. No one was there." Bar stool just randomly falling over on its own is freaky enough, but this isn't the only time he's captured something odd with the doll on camera. So unfortunately, we don't see what made him grab the camera and start filming initially, but then this happens. Now, could this just be a case of gravity doing the work and the doll just kind of slightly shifting position? I mean, sure, but taking the bar stool falling over into account too, hey, does make you wonder. This video was uploaded to the YouTube channel World Paranormal. Bobby Bars said he was just hanging out watching a movie when he started to hear his cabinet door moving, as if something was pulling on it from the inside. He opens the cabinet, revealing a small doll collection inside. Then he starts talking to the dolls, which are supposedly haunted. Now, listen closely to the clips we're gonna play here. Can you hear a voice whisper evil as he opens the cabinet door? And then see if you can hear footsteps in this next clip. Eventually, Bobby decides to close the door, and that's when this happens. Keep your eye on the doll on the left with the curly red hair.
All right, I'm about to close the door.
And then it moves again.
Did you move the doll? Yo.
Yeah, I think I'd be keeping that cabinet door bolted shut from that point on. This video was posted to YouTube years ago. A mom had just got her daughter a new doll, and she was filming her playing with it. Keep your eyes on the other doll in the background, though.
Lovable.
One of the arms of the doll in the background raises up, followed by the candle in front of it rolling. So, not only does this doll apparently have the ability to move on its own, it also knows the force. And that's actually kind of cool. I think I'd keep this doll. I just make sure to be very cautious not to piss it off. Would you ever agree to spend the night in this room? I'm gonna guess a lot of you clicked on this video because dolls kind of creep you out, so that answer is probably no, especially after seeing this. Did you catch that? Happens pretty fast, but notice how as the camera pans across a section of dolls, one of them lowers its arm. I'd be out of that room so fast, especially because I'd already be kind of uncomfortable in there in the first place. I don't even have a thing about dolls really, but I mean, there's just way too many of them in that room. Too much of one thing is always kind of freaky, right? Too many cats, too many monkeys. Monkeys? An odd choice, but anyway, imagine trying to sleep with all those faces surrounding you. Not to mention that some of these dolls look just a little too real for comfort. This is one of those mysterious early YouTube videos. I actually don't even know if it was originally uploaded to YouTube or if it comes from somewhere else. It's been around since at least 2009, and here we see a girl holding a doll, talking to her friend behind the camera. I'm not sure exactly where this was filmed, but some have said Mexico. Anyway, everything seems fine and dandy before this happens. Pretty relatable reaction, really. I mean, imagine holding a doll in your arms only to look over and see its beady little eyes staring into your soul when you know you had its face turned the other way. I'd throw it on the floor too, and then I'd set it on fire. Whether that happened or not is anyone's guess. There's virtually no background info on this video, but based on her reaction, I don't think she kept the thing. This video is uploaded to the YouTube channel World Paranormal. Paranormal investigator Bobby Bars experienced some weird stuff with this doll. Throughout the video, there are some pretty eerie EVPs, which stands for electronic voice phenomena. Listen closely to this. No. Did you hear that whisper? What about the odd whimpering noise in this next clip?
Across the screen.
But what about the doll? Well, this is the creepiest part. What do you all think of this one? Leave your thoughts down in the comments. This next clip was shared to YouTube by Jonathan's Other Adventures, who seems to have captured the infamous Robert the Doll move on his own. He said he captured the footage in 2008 while on a trip to Key West, Florida, where Robert the Doll is housed at the East Martello Museum. Watch Robert's foot after he pans the camera down. Now, that happens very fast and it's pretty subtle, so here it is slowed down a couple times. The foot does seem to subtly shift on its own. Now, for those of you not in the know, Robert the Doll is probably the most famous haunted doll aside from Annabelle. It once belonged to a boy named Robert Eugene Otto, who claimed the doll could move and talk. Neighbors said they saw it watching from windows, and Gene's parents often heard him screaming while Robert's voice responded. The doll was eventually locked away, but strange things kept happening. Furniture would move, giggles in the dark would be heard. Eventually, the doll ended up at the museum in Florida, where it sits behind glass, and visitors claim that bad luck will follow if they take his photo or video without asking permission. Some have even mailed apology letters to the museum begging the doll to forgive them. In 2017, a couple appeared on the British talk show This Morning with a doll they believed was possessed. And while they were being interviewed, the chair the doll was sitting on started rocking by itself multiple times. The couple explained they'd found the doll at an antique store, along with a few others, and bought them because they were cheap and might be worth reselling. But the moment they brought the dolls home, strange things started to happen. They kept the one that ended up on the show in their bedroom dresser, and one morning the husband got in the shower and suddenly felt a burning sensation on his leg, out of nowhere. After that, they put the doll in a plastic bin out in the shed, and a few days later, the wife opened the bin and noticed the doll's necklace had somehow come off, even though it had been tightly secured. And that same night, she woke up around 2 a.m. and heard a whooshing sound pass by the bed, almost like clothes were rustling, but nothing was there. They ended up selling the thing on eBay soon after this episode aired. The Pascualita is a mannequin in a bridal shop window in Mexico. There is something very creepy and off-putting about this thing, mainly how lifelike it is. In fact, that's entirely it. And to the point where a lot of people think she might actually be a corpse. See, she first showed up in 1930, and right away people started noticing she looked exactly like the shop owner's daughter, who had just died from a black widow spider bite on her wedding day. People started whispering that it wasn't just a mannequin, that it was her body preserved and dressed in a wedding gown. Some would even say they'd see the thing move on its own. And the rumors aren't surprising. I mean, her skin looks almost too real. Her hands, oh yikes, the hands. Look at them, the tiny wrinkles, the fingernails. Why does a mannequin need to have hands with this much meticulous, lifelike detail? Some store visitors have said she moves slightly, and this just sends a shiver down my spine, but a few claim they've seen her dance in the window at night. All that said, I've been your host, James, and I'll catch you, yes, you specifically, in the next video.